Yo, what's going on? It's the Intelligenty Ratcet. It's your boy Bishop Omega. We are live and direct right now on Facebook Live. It's your boy Bishop. I'm the only one here tonight due to the fact that P Nominal has some things going on with his wife. Justice not feeling well, so I wish those brothers happy times. So what I did, man, I'm live right now. So if you don't mind, you're just gonna rock with me tonight. We got a couple of things we're gonna talk about. It's probably gonna be a short show. But yeah, like, share, comment, you know what I'm saying? Everybody out there in YouTube land and Twitch land, you know what I'm saying? We on here, but I'm gonna take this YouTube video, put it on my Facebook real quick. So that way all the people know what's going on. But yeah, man, it's your boy Bishop. Episode 213. Intelligenty Ratcet, man. Having a good time. Just got some dope information coming in from it was my 213 episode. I'm just waiting for the good folk at there we go. We live right now. Let's go and take that joint. There we go. Cool. All right. But how y'all doing today, man? How's everything going? Let me go and put my there we go. Now I can hear myself hearing myself, you know what I'm saying? So, but we're gonna have an awesome show tonight. Let me just make sure the sounds right. Does the sound right? I think the sound sounds right. Well, how y'all doing today, man? How's everything going? We gonna put my now I can hear myself. Have an awesome show tonight. Sounds right. Does the sound right? Yeah, the sound sounds right. Great. All right, so let's go ahead and move this on. Still getting technical difficulties set up and everything. So cool. Let me go ahead and share it. Yo, what up? What up? What up? All right, man. So yeah, we're gonna get the show started in a second. I'm just putting everything on Facebook real quick because my ass put us in Facebook jail. So I want to apologize, but I'm leaving a link on Facebook. So go to my page on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? You can go and pop in. We're gonna discuss this 21 Savage situation, which is straight garbage. We're gonna have to talk about him. Also, just got some news about Jeff Bezos, Mrs. X Bezos. I don't know her name, but she just infused Durham Public Schools with like $18 million real quick, just on, you know what I'm saying, off the grant that she had. So that was going on. So that's an awesome thing. We're gonna talk a little bit of Black Panther, you know what I mean? So spoiler alerts is coming up. And yeah. So let me go and get this link set up. And we're going to do that. Hold on. Let me go ahead and put this link in here. All right. We'll go ahead and put that there. Bam. Let's get back to my Facebook here. And yeah, man. So it's going to be. There we go. I think I got everything. So y'all pop on in if y'all want to. I'm gonna go in and get started. First of all, you know what I'm saying? We spoke about it. I think everybody's open enrollment is over with. I hope y'all got the new plan. Remember, on the open enrollment, you still got time. You still have time to change the benefits until the first of the year. So I want to go ahead and let you know without having a qualified life event. So I want to talk about that real quick because I don't think I got the chance to talk about it last week. So remember, you have until December 31st to make any changes to your plans and all that stuff. If your most employers do that. So make sure you get the best coverage for yourself. The best coverage ain't always the most expensive coverage. So please understand that. And I just want to go ahead and make sure y'all totally understood that that sometimes you need to take less out of your check, have a higher deductible because you don't go to the doctor that way or that much. So if you don't go to the doctor that much, don't pay more on your premium. You'll just pay less on your premium and there's more on your deductible because especially if you keep yourself up, you know what I'm saying, you eat well, you don't have any underlying health conditions and all that stuff. Get the cheaper plan. Get the cheaper plan. You know what I'm saying? Because and then you could put away money for that just in case something happens. So don't go out there getting no expense plan. Save yourself some money. Also, I want to give a crazy shout out. If you have any comments about that, pop in. We'll definitely talk about it. Also want to say to all my criminal friends out there, listen, criminal friends, do not do anything during these next couple of months. Don't do anything that's going to get you. First of all, you don't want to be locked up. You don't want to be locked up during the holidays. You know what I'm saying? It's a sad time, and you got, I think you got to plan this out. Like during the holidays, you're going to come in and you're going to go ahead and like paying it down a little bit during the holidays. And I'm saying this because you guys are my friends. And if you do something egregious enough that and get away with it, and then they find out it's you, and they offer a reward, I'm snitching. I'm telling on you because I need that reward. I got, you know what I'm saying? I got all these kids. Like, listen, I'm going to tell on you. It's holiday season. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be smoking on that U-Pack. That's what we're going to be doing at the Omega house. I am straight up. What you said, Bobby is on WARL for $1,500. Oh man, I know what this dude at right now. Shoot, what you doing B&Es for? B like shoot, and then they give me nothing. If you ain't getting me nothing, don't do no B&Es because I'm telling on you. I'm gonna get that reward money and I'm gonna buy my kids Christmas gifts. I'll take some of that reward money and put it on your books though, because I'm not a total savage. But telling you I'm snitching. So y'all go ahead and calm it down, or at least don't get caught. Be smart, man. But nah, if you can help it, don't do crimes around the holiday times. That's coming from your boy Bishop Omega. Yeah, man, I wanted to jump into some other situations, man. Like again, I'm the only one here. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I'm the only one here. P got it's P's wife's birthday, and just wasn't feeling well. So I said, you know what? Instead of canceling the show, I'm gonna go ahead on. We might just go ahead, instead of a full hour and a half. I might shorten it to about a half an hour. But you here with me, so what else? So as long as y'all commenting and stuff like that, like I said, I dropped the link on my Facebook page. So if you want to go holler, come on over. You know what I'm saying? I'll definitely go ahead. You could drop right in. I'll put you in, and we could have a discussion about what's going on. I would love to hear your opinions live about what we're about to talk about. And also, if you've seen Black Panther, let's discuss Black Panther a little bit. You know, I'll get into it. I think it's been enough time that you know what I'm saying you had a chance to see it. So yeah, and it's going to be spoilers, but I'll let you know about Black Panther spoilers, so that way you don't have to get involved in it. You know, you can move on. But yeah, talk about this 21 Savage Nas situation. And you know, I'm an old head in hip hop. I'm a super old head in hip hop. And well, not super old head, but I'm one of the older generation MCs, you know what I mean? And And I look at it, it's like you want to feel the disrespect and everything like that for them, right? Because I grew up in the what we call the golden era hip hop when you had to have talent, you had to be different, you had to do other things and all that stuff in order to be a hip hop artist, uh, and it was a plethora and a more diverse group of hip hop that was in the mainstream. Hip hop. We get into the argument like, yo, it ain't no good hip hop no more. No, lazy people. There is a lot of there was a bunch of dope hip hop in the times that Soldier Boy and all of them was out here winning. It was just that you just had to know where to go, or you had to dig for it. It wasn't going to be put out there like here is the hip hop that you want. You know what I mean? Because that's what they did when we were kids. It's the same thing. It's like, here's the hip hop, here's dope hip hop, and they just fed it to us, and that's why we, in our late mid 30s, early 40s, early 50s. That's why we're like, this is the hip hop, because this was the best hip hop that they made, because that was the only hip hop they made. They made dope hip hop. They made dope hip hop during those times, but it was still force fed through the radio. It was just that radio was playing dope hip hop all the time. So, or they were playing at least a diverse group, a diverse sampling of hip hop, right? You got Wu-Tang on the radio, Vanilla Ice on the radio, the cats that sang Doodoo Brown, Tag Team, so you those JT Money, you know what I'm saying? So you had your pick, and you had a plethora of flavors that you could choose from, Snoop and all them, and you had those different waves of hip hop that you could listen to. Now it's kind of like just one wave. Let's be honest with it. It's just the one wave, and that's what it is. But going back to speaking about the relevance part of it, like 21 Savage said, yeah, Nas isn't relevant, but he got fans. And I'm sick of the young cats like demonizing, or not demonizing, but overlooking old cats, right? And I want to stand on my high horse. I want to stand on my high horse, on my, on my soapbox, and scream to the dark, like, no. Just because, the cat is over 30 years old does not mean that, he's no longer relevant in hip hop. But we did it. It was our fault. It was our fault. Because we're the golden era of hip hop, right? So back when, you talk about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, for some of us, we didn't treat our elders right. We didn't treat the Sugar Hill Gang right. We didn't treat Grandmaster Flash right. We didn't big them up like that. We didn't, you know what I'm saying? We didn't keep them in the limelight. I mean, some of the DJs, like, excuse me, I said Grandmaster Flash, but no, we put Grandmaster Red Alert and all of them. We kind of kept those up. But some of those, like the Sugar Hill Gang, and you know what I'm saying, 3 Times Dope, and all those cats, man, we didn't bring our old heads along with us. And you know what we did? And then we said, because we were young back then, right? And we said, F the old heads. Because we didn't realize that we were going to be old heads. We thought hip hop was always going to be a young man's game. And now we're finding out that it's not. That now it's not. But the only reason why it's that way is because of the fact that we hip hop is the youngest, it's like the youngest genre of music. Baby, come on, just go and get up, because you're about to hurt yourself. About to fall on the floor. My daughter, she's trying to duck behind the thing. But yeah, it's like, we gotta look at it like hip hop is the youngest form of the youngest genre of music out of all of them, right? You know what I'm saying? What's up, Paul? You know what I mean? Hey, if you go to my Facebook page, Paul, you could pop in. I left the link in my Facebook, on my Facebook comics. So you know what I'm saying? You could pop in. You know what I mean? I would love to hear your views on what 21 Savage said about Nas or whatever. But I think really in all aspects of it, it's kind of our fault, because we set the blueprint for saying that older cats can't rock no more.
somehow after you get to a certain age, you're not supposed to rock them, right? You know, and then we also thinking of it, we also tried to stay young. You know, young Jeezy. Hove, when he was like 35, was like, yo, I'm young Hove, young forever, forever young, young. Instead of being like, nah, I'm a grown ass man in this joint. I'm a father. You know what I'm saying? I do things different. I move a certain way, right? And then it turned into old cat versus new cats, right? Because the new cats start disrespecting. They start doing the same thing that we did to the generation before us, right? So at the end of the day, so if that's how you're gonna play it, they just doing the same. They pulling a us on us, right? So yeah, of course you want to jump on your house and like, yo, nah, you can't say that. But that's what they supposed to say. Hip hop is a competition sport. It's a gladiator sport. That's what we made it. It's about battling. It's about trying to outdo your opponent and even outdo yourself at some points in time. So it's you know, so am I surprised that he said it? Nah, he feeling himself. He just got off the joint with Drake, you know what I'm saying? A little they situation, you know what I mean? Which is dope. I liked it. I thoroughly enjoyed the 21 Savage and Drake project. You know, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Some of the tracks stuck with me. But he's at the top, you know what I'm saying? He's rocking with it. So yeah, he gonna say some shit like that. Now, does it make it necessarily true? Yes and no. Yes and no. Because we're talking about relevance. We're talking about relevance, people. Relevance. And it's mainstream relevance. It's underground relevance. It's personal relevance. If the person's relevant to you, is as a whole. Is Nas a legend? Absolutely. No one is ever going to deny that. You know what I'm saying? Is ever going to deny that. I'm gonna bring my good friend, Minister Paul Scott, in the building. What's going on, good brother?
Peace, brother. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing well. Sir. I'm doing well.
Brother Omega.
Yo, I appreciate the book. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the book. I've been reading it and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm writing notes and all that stuff. So the next time I come to you, I'm gonna have a whole bunch of questions because you know what I mean? It's way too much intelligent for my double GED that I have, you know. But I wanted to get your take on it.
You try to fool people, man.
Huh?
You try to hide your brilliance, but anyway, I know better.
Nah, man. Sometimes it's like this. I tell people all the time, like as a comedian and as somebody being funny, I was like, yo, it's easier to be a smart dude and play stupid than be a stupid dude and play smart. Easier to do it that way. You know what I'm saying? That way I can.
Muhammad Ali said something like that too. Muhammad Ali said a wise man can be a clown, but a clown can't be a wise man. Or something to that effect.
See, great minds think alike. I wish I could box. You know what I'm saying? But I want to talk about. You heard about the comment of 21 Savage saying that Nas isn't relevant, but he got fans.
Yeah,
kind of like a backhanded comment. Mm-hmm. What's your take? Do you feel, you know what I'm saying, as a hip hop head? I know you're a hip hop head, you know what I mean? So and probably a Nas fan, because I would be surprised if you were not. What do you think about the comment, man?
Am I a Nas fan? You know, but see, my era is really the era before Nas.
Okay.
So when Nas came, I was comparing Nas to like X-Clan, Public Enemy, KRS, and I was like, yeah, he makes some good points, but Nas said it himself. Mm-hmm. He said in the land of, what did he say? In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king.
Yeah.
So basically, Nas came out at a time after the conscious era. Mm-hmm. So he was filling a void where nobody was really saying anything. But what you said, what 21 Savage said, I think it goes along with the disrespect that many of us have for Black culture, older Black culture in general, not only limited to hip hop. To say Nas isn't relevant, not being really, and honestly, not being one of what you would call a Nas fan, because I'm from that earlier era.
Right.
I like The King's Disease.
Okay.
I don't like part 3 as much as the other two.
Right.
Subject matter wise, I think that the beats were hot. I like the samples, but the subject matter wasn't as hard hitting as 1 and 2 to me.
1 and 2. Okay, got you.
But
It didn't get that lesson.
Isn't relevant. You know, that's foolish, man. I mean, he's relevant. He's a legend. He's a legend. Not always correct with his history.
Right.
No, he tried. Alexander did not blow the nose off the Sphinx. That was somebody else. But yeah, he tried.
He tried. He said, yeah. He looked at it, but no, that don't sound right.
Yeah,
but,
that was more like Napoleon allegedly. But anyway.
So and that's kind of why I'm going to go to, because we have this discussion, and it's like, and I think you could speak to that too, because again, I come from, so me and you, like, I'm on the front end while you on like the tail end of the era before me. I'm on that same lane with Nas. It's like, okay, I get KRS-One, I get Public Enemy, but I was younger. I was, you know what I'm saying, we're looking at what, 8, 9, 10 years old, right? During that, because I'm 42 now. So,
but see, I got you by 13 years though. So
right. So that's more. So it's like this again. You know what I mean? It's like, all right. So we got you at 13 when I'm listening to it. You know what I mean? When I'm listening to it 8, 9, you already got the mindset of it and locked in. And it's like, I'm just getting into it. As you're a teenager, you know what I'm saying? You're a teenager going into your adulthood, and it's like, I get KRS-One and I respect them, but I wasn't understanding. And then when Nas came, 92, you know what I'm saying, 93, I'm 13. And it's like, now these are the Biggie, Pop, Jay. Now I'm getting to that era, and I'm saying that I think through it, and then going forward into this new era of hip hop that we're doing the music and stuff like that. It's like, I don't think my generation took care of your generation, and we set the precedent. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we, you know what I mean? I don't think we, because when we came in, at first it was like, when hip hop was fresh, when it was there, it was like, yo, we all doing hip hop. This is what it is. We don't have no before, we don't have any after. Then this next generation, like when Rakim switched it up, it was like, yo, this is how we rapping now. When Kane switched it up, it was like, yo, this is how we rapping now. Then it's like, okay, we got to rap this way. And we no longer doing it. All right, and you came through rocking this bar. We're not doing that no more.
But also, not to cut your wisdom, but there's a reason for that too, historically. The generation that came after the conscious era of 88, 92, they didn't want to suffer, because that was the original cancel culture. People don't like to talk about that era. Okay. But you had artists in 88 through 92 being canceled for real. And I'm not talking about just, are we going to ban them from, that was way before social media. But I'm talking about being canceled and being on the FBI, CIA hit list. Professor Griff, Public Enemy, X-Clan, and Sister Soldier especially, Ice-T. So the generation following that, brother, it was like they didn't really want that smoke.
Right. So if you because it's like consciousness wasn't selling, just like it is now.
It wasn't. Now D.L. Hughley said something about Griff that I didn't agree with, but Professor Griff, but a lot of people had that sentiment that the steak wasn't worth the price of the sizzle. That they saw how these artists like Griff, Soldier, Ice-T had kind of been left out there. And they're like, nah, I'm going for the money. So what Nas and them did, they kept a form of consciousness, but they had to embrace the street really to keep them safe. So they weren't seen as a threat. You know, they just witty. They ain't really, like Wu-Tang, 5%ers, but they ain't really trying to start no revolution. Right. So they could come into a Def Jam or whatever, or any other record label and be seen as strategically street, so to speak. I just coined a new word, strategic.
That is. Strategically, write it down.
I'm trying to be like you. But they weren't a threat. Like they didn't get off the threat vibes like a Public Enemy or X-Clan and the rest of them. So I think that was strategic.
Oh yeah, but yeah, and that makes total sense on the paradigm shift, right? It's like now we get that, and now, but then we talk about the public. You know what I'm saying? We talk about the public and us not knowing that, because again, this is not. We don't have social. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a beautiful thing not to grow up in a social media era. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, when you go over your childhood and the only thing you got for memories is memories. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, so we didn't know our artists. We didn't know our artists like that.
Right.
So we didn't.
Right.
So it was like if you embrace the artist, if you saw you saw that person in real life, you almost fanboyed out. You had to. You like, oh, because all I see is person on video. Like they were not untouchable. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh wow, you're not even a real person. You know what I'm saying? But now with social media, you seem like it's almost like you're best friends with your artists. You get to see what they eat. You know what I'm saying? You get to see what they're wearing for the day, their thoughts on political things. You know what I'm saying? Their thoughts on like whatever, right? And when we did that, it's like, so we didn't get that type of information to make sound decisions about, oh shit, X-Clan is still doing this. They're still, because when we talk about the point of being relevant, the point of being relevant is how people perceive you. The outside world perceives you and how tuned in they are into you. You know what I'm saying? Now, like you said, when it comes down to the legend status, I think legends will always be relevant. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? God rest his soul, Bill Russell. Bill Russell was always going to be relevant in the NBA. Anytime he stepped in the room, you know, he might not be necessarily playing anymore, where he's in the front of he's the face of the NBA, but you can't like the NBA and say, hey, Bill Russell, and no one says, oh, I don't know who that is. You know what I'm saying? And I think when we're saying that Nas is not relevant, he's absolutely relevant. Is he relevant in the mainstream to our 13, 14-year-old consumer? Maybe not. But he's relevant to all us 35 to 55, 65-year-old fans. You know what I'm saying? That's
I didn't mean to cut your wisdom again, brother. No. But I just want to add on. And plus, who's going to be quoting 21 Savage lyrics 20 years from now?
You know what? I'm just going to leave the screen right now.
I mean, for real. Right. I can't quote one. I mean, I like one song he did with J. Cole.
Yeah.
You know, that was basically because of the beat. But who's really going to be quoting 21 Savage? When you look, history is recording everything we do.
Yes.
And who's really going to look back 20 years from now? And when you compare, people are still quoting Nas. You know, lyrics he did back in the early 90s. People are still quoting them. You know, right. Who's quoting 21 Savage from 5 years ago? Nobody. Exactly.
Nobody. That's what I'm saying. And then would you talk about the microwave culture? You know what I'm saying? And I think Nas said something on the King's Disease one time too. He was just like, yo, I got 40, 50-year-old fans, but also got 16-year-old fans.
Yeah.
But it is, he's bleeding into it. You know what I'm saying? It's like there are always going to be young cats that's always going to look back. You know what I'm saying? Rolling Stones, Muddy Waters. You know what I'm saying? They like, especially when it comes down to R&B, they always, you got soul singers that go back to when soul singing was soul singing. They sing like that right now, and they keep bringing it up. And it's like young cats like Joey Badass and others. They keep that lyrical, that, yo, I need to come in here and I need to body that Coast Contra. Have you heard Coast Contra? You know what I'm saying? Check them out. Razcast Twin Boys is in the Coast Contra joint, so they come from good stock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nature of the Threat. If you haven't studied anything about European history, Nature of the Threat in 8 minutes will teach you everything you never learned in school. Razcast, Nature of the Threat.
Nature of the Threat. See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Razcast is one of those cats, and it's like you would say you would say Razcast is not irrelevant. It's not relevant. No, he's not relevant in the mainstream. He's not, you know what I mean? But again, if you still speak that name and enough people understand who he is, then he's always going to be relevant in certain circles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But again, he didn't reach that same level of success as Nas. And when we're saying it's like this, Nas is one of those cats that he's a 50-year-old man, 50 years old. Now, when we was listening to hip hop, we didn't think, oh, we couldn't fathom. Not until recently, until hip hop just turned what? Am I correct? We just turned 51 years old.
Something like that, yeah.
So it's like this. So it's like, we ain't been around that long. It's only 50 years, right? So it's like this. We don't know what a 70-year-old rapper is going to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like now you got the chance of pretty soon in the next 10 years, somebody's going to drop their first rap album at 40 years old because now there is something I like to call adult contemporary rap.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's rap stuff for me and my good friend Minister Paul Scott. You know what I mean? It's the rap music we want to listen to. You know what I'm saying? It's rap music for cats that get up, go to work, got lower back pain, knee might hurt when it rains. You know what I'm saying? We want to hear some bars. Like we don't mind you telling your old stories. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy. Like I was just telling my man the other day, they was like, why Jeezy keep on rapping about the same drug cocaine he sold back in 92? I'm like, because at the end of the day, we go to see all Martin Scorsese films that talk about gangster shit every time. He just tells gangster stories. They just good stories. It's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, sometimes I want coke rhymes. You know how I go for that? I go to Jeezy and I go to Pusha T. And I don't ask them to do anything besides what they good at. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just want to sell the key of cocaine on your way to work. You know what I'm saying? But other times I want to be uplifted. So I'll go listen to some old Kanye. I'll go listen to some old Jay-Z or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I mean? I'll pick it up on that. Or, excuse me, I'll listen to some new Jay-Z, not old Jay-Z, because old Jay will be selling coke too. But you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
not the old Jay though.
Huh?
You know, Jay came out conscious. Except for Hawaiian Sophie. We're going to forget that ever happened.
You can't know. That's a part of it. You put a shirt on.
He was with Jazzo.
Yeah.
You know, he came out conscious. Because Jazzo was with Dr. York. And, you know, they were heavily into the whole Black consciousness thing, like late 80s. And so Jay came out with Jazzo. And Jazzo was into Dr. York. So Jay's always been conscious. But you know, 50 Cent don't play being conscious. Common sense didn't pay the rent.
Right. Being common sense, truthfully, I'd rather rap like Talib Kweli, but with that common, I ain't make common sense. But again, it's like, what is relevance? It's relative, I think. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, within your circle, you know, because it's people that it's artists, it's like people that paint. It's people that do poetry that may be super relevant to me that you've never heard of. They're not relevant to you. They're not until you're introduced to them. And then when you're introduced to them, if you enjoy them, now they're relevant to you. Now you check in with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what 21 doesn't get. It's like, and people got mad. I'm like, well, he's right and he's wrong at the same time. Like, at the end of the day, publicly, you don't shit on a legend that you know is a legend. That, you know, I will never shit on a trailblazer of anybody that's come in before me and say, hey, yo, those cats were just not good.
Yeah. You don't see that in rock and roll.
You don't.
Not at all.
You don't.
You would never hear one of them say anything about the Beatles or the Rolling Stones or Elvis or anybody like that.
They don't do it. And it's like this, even the Rolling Stones realized and gave props to Muddy Waters.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like this, you know what I mean? And that's, you know what I mean? And that's outside when you talk about, you know what I mean, Rolling Stones and Muddy Waters and stuff like that. That's coming from a place where America don't really get that. Why did they reach back and get Muddy Waters? Why? Because they understood that, yo, our music is influenced by this guy. So what we're gonna do, again, we're not in this motherfucking racist ass America that we can't appreciate Black culture. We're doing this shit, so let's give them props. And then, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people should have done that. You know what I mean, going forward. You know what I mean? But that's what we, and like you said, the disrespect of older Black culture is an American thing.
Right.
It's not just in our community. The reason why it's in our community because it's the woven fabric. It's the motherfucking vibranium of motherfucking of America. You know what I'm saying? You know how they said vibranium is woven into their clothes, it's in their food. Guess what? Racism is that. It is built, it's built completely and unequivocally inside America like apple pie and eagles. You know what I'm saying? It is.
Apple pie and eagles.
Apple pie and eagles. And also shout out to
you had to throw that in there.
You know, I have to, you know what I'm saying? Hey man, you know, we from Philly, you know what I'm saying? We gave you guys electricity. It's okay. It's all right. You tell me where you would be without Benjamin Franklin. we still be in here lighting candles. Like, yeah, all right.
Was he in the Illuminati? Never mind. Yeah. We ain't gonna go.
Yo, we started that too. You know what I'm saying? Philly cats. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all gave us the Illuminati. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
In America. Anyway.
In America. The Illuminati in America. Which is probably the bastardized version of the Illuminati too. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, actually it's the real thing. Yeah.
So we are
Benjamin Franklin, he was tied into that.
Drop knowledge. If you don't mind, I don't want them to, you know what I'm saying, cut the feed and nothing like that.
Yeah, I mean, we ain't gonna get you canceled, bro. But now right. Fathers like Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson, you know, they went to that Enlightenment.
So is the Illuminati what we think it is, like the general public, or is it just we don't understand it, so we fear it?
Hold that thought, because my battery's about to go dead. Let me get off screen 1 second, grab my cable, and I'll be right back on.
All right, bro. Got Paul in the building. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's a crazy thing. Like what we gotta, when it comes down to relevance and everything like that, like at the end of the day, who's relevant to you? And that's what's relevant. But you can't be ignorant and say somebody's not relevant. You know, especially somebody like a trailblazer. You know, if he would have said, hey, JT Money is not relevant, and maybe he might be right about that. You know what I mean? I don't think nobody's checking for the new JT Money. But the fact that he dropped the album, a third album, that made someone ask you a question about him, makes him relevant. Ergo, there it is. He's on the news feed. People are up in arms. You know what I'm saying? But when Minister Paul come back, we're gonna talk about this little piece of Illuminati, or you know what I'm saying, when he jumps back in. So as soon as he does that, we'll do it. You ready, Paul? He's backstage right now. All right. Good job. All right. All right. So, thank you so much, sir. All right. So, you know what I'm saying, we're back on it. You know what I'm saying? A short briefing of, is the Illuminati that the conspiracy theorists and all like the evil underworld, you know what I'm saying, sacrificing babies, you know what I'm saying, and controlling all your money. Is it that?
The modern day, what they call the Illuminati?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're talking, basically, the whole thing about the Illuminati, we're talking about the Age of Enlightenment, the 19th century.
Okay.
And that was just a bunch of smart people who chose science over religion, basically.
Okay.
They dealt with reason.
Okay.
And, you know, they were anti-religion, anti-church, and they became a threat to the Catholic Church. So that's basically the origin of the Illuminati. Okay. But in colloquial terms, I just looked that word up. I didn't know it 5 minutes ago. Really, what it really is a code word for the powerful families that can control the planet.
Okay.
That's what the modern day interpretation is. So is it real? Yeah, it's real.
Right.
Look what happened to Kanye if you don't believe his report. I mean, it's real, man. I mean, 1% of the population does control 99% of the wealth. So instead of saying instead of just calling people out by name, and you get canceled, and you got to move you lose $1.5 billion in a day. People just say Illuminati, so they won't have to name the names.
Got you.
So when you're talking about the music industry, the hip hop industry, because I wrote, Professor Griff has a book on that.
Okay.
And I wrote the last chapter actually.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, self-plug. But yeah.
Yeah, light flex right there.
a little bit. But yeah, it's real in that sense, as far as you're talking about powerful families, and you're talking about a code of action that's meant to dominate the planet. And if you're looking at the music industry, you got to go back to, what's that book? Dannon's book called The Hitman. Read that book. I know you're familiar with it. Frederick Dannon has a book called Hitman. Okay. And that goes back to the origins of the music industry and how they made their money and how they made their money and passed it on for families. Those same families who controlled the music industry back in the 1920s, 1930s, that legacy is still passed on. So when people talk about the Illuminati, they just talk about the rich and powerful. Rich and famous. Right. Some die with a name, some die nameless. Yeah.
Oh, hip hop, man. Well, thank you for enlightening me on that joint. What's going on, D Nasty? He out in India, my homeboy. What time is it out there in India right now? It's probably like 7 a.m. If it's earlier than 8 o'clock in the morning over there, B, you are an Intelligenty Ratcet fan for real, bro. You are, because if you waking up to this shit, this is not the show you want to brush your teeth to. I promise you, we will mess your day up the whole day. But have you seen Black Panther yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, so I can't talk about it with you because I don't want to do any spoilers or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you're a powerful man, and I don't want to get that knock at my door. Like, hey, young brother, let's talk to you and get in this. But yeah, I would say this right here. If you do see it, like, I have daughters. Bring your daughters if you have daughters. Take your daughters to it. You know what I'm saying? Seeing strong African American female roles in a led movie that's saying that it's kind of doubling down on, like, hey, Black people, here, Black boys, you could be a superhero. You know what I'm saying? In the same 4 years, the 8 years that you could be the president. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those situations. It's empowering, and it's kind of like they're doubling down for that for the little girls. And it's like, hey, look at this. You know what I'm saying? You could get through tragedy and you could still be strong. And all the female leads were super duper strong. So I enjoyed that part of it. And I also, what I Latinx people, 7:50, bro, why are you up that early? Like, 7:15 is like, no. But also for the Latinx community, excellent way they did Namor. Excellent way. You know what I'm saying? And it was like a brown and black situation. Good ass superhero movie. And I was talking to somebody the other day, actually on Straight to Tape last night, when people were, talking about like how people of color is getting this new representation, and we're trying to, they're changing, races of certain characters and everything like that. And I just thought of it. I was like, when most of these characters that we enjoy, your Supermans, your Batmans, your Spider-Mans and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. They were back in 1960 or before, right? We're in segregated America, which is very racist America, right? So if you, back then, you couldn't sell a black Superman. You couldn't sell a black Superman. Here's a black dude that can jump over buildings and beat up white people. Like, you couldn't do that shit. You couldn't do it. That would not sell. That would not sell because there were laws in place that didn't allow shit like that. You know what I mean? You couldn't even, like, if I'm a darker hue, I couldn't even drink the same water fountain as you, let alone be in the same damn comic book with you without being a racial trope. Mm-hmm. But I said, if you took those same characters, say if we lived in the universe, the multiverse, where comic books were not invented until 2012. How many more Black, Asian, women superheroes will we have if we had the same mindset that we right now? It will be a lot more diverse, because guess what? A lot more of us are in a drawing room. A lot more of us are CEOs. A lot more of us have affected Caucasian and other races that they say, okay, hip hop culture, like boom, can you imagine if hip hop culture and then Marvel came after hip hop culture? Come on now, you know what I'm saying? That would be, it would be, I would say, a 50-50 Black superhero versus, you know what I'm saying, non-Black and other races. So it's like this. They drew the characters for a reason, and they're fictional characters. They're fictional characters. They can be whatever you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to get mad at the mermaid being Black? Like, no. It was just that the artist, if we worked at Disney, me and Paul would mostly draw Black characters, because you're going to draw characters that represent you, that represent your family. If we had to go draw an uncle, I'm not thinking of Uncle Petey. I'm thinking of Uncle Stank Stank. You know what I'm saying? When you say your uncle, you know what I mean? You go, because what you do is you internalize you first. Here's a character. I need this character to do this. Okay, what is my uncle? Which one of my cousins? Which one? And you pull them in and you make that likeness to that. You know what I'm saying? And even in the mannerisms and all that stuff, it depends on a writer. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you know what you know, and you write what you know, and you draw what you know.
In the 70s, all we had the Black Panther, and we had Power Man, Luke Cage. That was it.
That's it.
One of Black Super Friends until Black Vulcan came on, like the 3rd season, whatever. But that was it, man.
That was it. And it's like this. And Stan Lee shot
Black Falcon.
Black Falcon, right? Yeah. And you know what I'm saying. And it's like this. Shout out to Stan Lee for saying this right here. Oh, if I'm gonna make a Black superhero, I'm gonna make him the most awesome Black ass superhero ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't gonna be from Harlem. He's gonna come from Africa, and he's gonna be the most genius level technological advanced country that y'all just gonna be like, y'all goat herders and stuff like that. Y'all gonna sleep on them. And that was a great way to write that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you can't fuck. Like, at the end of the day, and even in, you know what I'm saying, in the movies, the Marvel movies, they keep that like, yo, you cannot fuck with Black excellence. That's what Wakanda is. It's a form of saying, hey, this is Black excellence. And we would have had Wakanda if you didn't burn down Tulsa and Wilmington, because I say this right here, where would we be if they didn't touch those towns? Where would our education?
Let me throw in one caveat though.
All right, go ahead.
I saw Black Panther 1.
Okay.
Haven't seen Black Panther 2. But the underlying story of Black Panther 1 was they were isolationists.
Yeah.
And that was what was the guy's name? Killmonger?
Yeah.
That was his beef. Yeah. You know, y'all got all this technology and y'all sealed yourself, all these struggling nations, all these Black people across the world suffering. And y'all sealed yourself away from everybody else, which is kind of what Dr. E. Franklin Frazier addressed in 1950 in his book about the Black middle class. Okay. You know, it was that same kind of dynamic. Okay, y'all got all this technology, but y'all ain't dealing with the people who stole the artifacts from Africa and put them in London. Y'all ain't dealing with the suffering people in America. Y'all just put a fence around Wakanda and cut yourself away from everybody else. So that was kind of a strong dynamic that I don't know how many people picked up. Yeah, you know, they were powerful, they were strong, they had all this technology, but they were isolated from the struggles of the so-called third world countries.
Right. So this, and I agree with that. That was and looking at it, Killmonger was not wrong. Killmonger was right. Absolutely. He was absolutely right. Right. He was right in this movie too. So it's like, So he was absolutely right.
Mhm.
It was just the way about him going about getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, yeah, the righteous anger,
Mm-hmm.
which what I'm saying is right. He had righteous
Mhm.
anger. It was like, you know what I'm saying? When, yeah, that shit smells like French toast. You know what I'm saying? It's the best, but it's the way about where you put into that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It was a better way around? Yeah, people make mistakes, right? But it speaks to that's why I look at Wakanda too on the other side of that isolationist because we were forced to be isolated with segregation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when we built these segregated towns, right, in New York, Central Park, and like I said, Wilmington, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and many others, and we start thriving. The crops got better. Our economy is better. And then you look across our jealous counterparts. Now we have to destroy it because y'all moving in a way that we thought y'all needed us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's a hard situation when you try to put somebody in a position and you're like, yo, I'm gonna sit you outside in the desert and motherfuckers start to flourish. And you're like, wait a minute.
Right.
I couldn't do that there. That land wasn't giving me these crops that it's giving y'all. Why? Because guess what? We know what we doing. See, when you put survivors, see what you you know what I mean? And I understand, you understand this. It's like the ilk and the yoke that we come from. It's the strongest of the strong.
Mm.
Like, so what you see, it's crazy. It's crazy because they talk about black trauma and all this stuff. Yes, it's like this. We had to go. First of all, we've been dealing with trauma and then thriving within the trauma that we're dealing with all up until about 5 years ago when they said, hey, man, it's okay not to be okay.
You know who said that in Gat Council like 30 years ago? Jimmy the Greek. Jimmy the Greek said it. That's why Jimmy the Greek, for those who were a lot younger than me, he was the announcer on NFL, one of the best announcers at the time. You know, Howard Cosell, Jimmy the Greek, you know, they used to run the 70s.
Right.
And he talked about, he made a comment that the reason why black athletes are superior is because of just what you said, that dynamic from slavery. And you know, they captured them back in the either early 80s or late 70s. Yeah. So he made that point.
Yeah, because it's like this. We like our ancestors. They go back to Killmonger. He said, you know what I mean, bury me in the sea with my ancestors, right?
Yeah.
Those are not your ancestors. The people that's in the sea are not your ancestors. They can't be. They're gone. They're not. They were not able to reproduce to bring you forth. The people that were on the boats, that were left on the boats that survived it. So every sickness, every bump in the road and everything, those are the people that you. So basically, their core and whatever that DNA that got them through the Middle Passage, that got them to this land. Then what you do is this right here. You get those strong people, and you know what you do? You say, we need stronger ones. So you make those people. So yeah, so when you look at outside of the purity of, you know what I'm saying, of coming directly from Africa, you got the best Africans that they made. You know what I'm saying? You got the best of the best. Like outside of the purity of the, you know what I'm saying, the 43 strand Africans that the tribe that's out there that's, you know what I'm saying, that don't touch the ground and they float when they walk. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, you got the best of the stock right here, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how it was done. That's how slavery was done. They took the best.
Yeah.
And we're even talking about going back to the Hebrews. If you look at it biblically, when Babylon invaded Israel, I mean, you know, Israel back 732 BC or something like that, they took the best. Daniel and them,
right?
You know, the story of Daniel, they took the best. They took the scientists, man. So yeah, just want to throw that in.
That's what I'm saying. You take the brilliance of the brilliance, and you say this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You try to do selective breeding and all that stuff, and then you expect us. To now to be left alone, and for us still not to flourish and not to thrive. And it's like this. Yeah, you put us. It's like this. You put us in quote unquote bad neighborhoods, and it's like this. We thrive. The only reason the hood is because you took out funding. That's the only. Because guess what? If you, it's like this. They want to demonize drug dealers. Let me tell you this right here. At 19 years old, could you run a Fortune 500 company?
No.
But guess what? What does our 19-year-old, 16-year-old, 19-year-old brothers do when they get cocaine and all that stuff and they run a drug empire? It's nothing but a Fortune 500 company. That's all it is. You're dealing with money and numbers and all that stuff. I mean, it's the same advertisement, capital gain. You know what I'm saying? Hostile takeovers. I got to know in my mind how much a kilo of cocaine costs, how much I got to cut it with that. And they doing these calculations. They don't write this shit down. They got formulas. All right, this is what we're going to do. Now, do they have formal education? No. Do they have anger issues? Probably yes. But you talking about, these cats were millionaires. Buying cars, figuring out a way to buy cars. Figuring out, you know what I'm saying, a way to do adult things. You know what I'm saying? And navigating an adult world when, you know what I'm saying, I couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? I was too immature because I wasn't dealt with that life, taking care of your family and all that stuff. So it's like this. When people don't realize, it's like those are the people when they get out of incarceration and everything like that, that you should look for. Because they, first of all, they know how to go get it. They know how to go get it. Yeah. But that mind is there. You know what I'm saying? If you educate it correctly. And I forgot the brother that was locked up in LA in San Quentin. He got locked up, but he started doing stocks. And stock companies start coming to him because he found the formula. And he's like, and he teaches these shit. Like, he's been teaching it since he's like 7 years in. He's about to get out. And when he's coming out, guess when he's coming out to? He's coming out to multi-million dollars because he's been investing. He's been investing with little money he has. Then people are paying him to do that, and it's old and all that stuff. And yeah, he's helped people make millions and millions of dollars off of just learning. He said, I didn't know how to read. But he know how to sell drugs. And he said, just like the drug game, all you got to do is apply it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm applying it for nothing. And it's like, that's what comes from what you've done to us. It's like, you got the smartest of the smart. You got the best of the best. You got the fastest run. You got the ones with the heaviest strength. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you didn't, you know what I'm saying? What you did when you tried to build a better slave, you built better men and women. That's what you did. You know, that's what you did. What it is that you thought you were going to have power over these things until it wasn't. Then you know what I'm saying? Then you further did things, but now that it's like this. In our generation right now, we're slowly starting to see America being seen for the bullshit that it is. You know what I'm saying? And I don't, you know what I'm saying? And I started using America probably about 6 years ago, right? Because I got tired of saying white people. It's not white people. It's not white people. Because, you know what I'm saying? If we took this right here and we flipped it and we said, you know what, let's put the black people in power and let's put white people through the same thing. Guess what? We would, it's the privilege. I can't help that I'm not privileged. You know what I'm saying? We weren't born privileged. But if we were, that's the system. The system was built for us. So when we were born, we would come into power.
You ever read 48 Laws of Power?
I briefly listened to the audiobook. I didn't get into it. I didn't. Well, some of the stuff sticks with me or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because I use it in my hosting and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like how to get hosting gigs and how to build relationships. So, you know what I'm saying? I've done that because one of my boys is like, yo, that's 40. You read a little bit of it. But yeah, what point was you about to make with that?
Yeah, you know, I've been giving those out on the street. That's what, you know, just like I could mention, you know, Bull City Griot, what we do is give free books out on the street. So I've been giving out 48 Laws of Power on the street to the street cats.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And hopefully they take the time to learn it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they asked for. But The point I was making was basically to add on to your point. 48 Laws of Power is really a European history book.
Right.
And, it talks about, it gives you a point, but it gives you the European background. So we talk about Napoleon, it talk about Machiavelli, I think. It talk about these other, out of their mind state. So, we're talking about power dynamics. Would we, if African people were in power, would we do the same thing to them that they did to us? I don't know, brother. Because I'm gonna tell you why.
No. Okay, so I'm sorry. So what I was saying was, if we like, I'm saying just take the same, like we're gonna wipe the color of the skin. We're just flipping the color of the skin. We're talking about the whole, like if we were the Europeans,
right?
You know what I'm saying? If we had that mentality, I'm just saying that if our generation was born into it, we couldn't. Now I'm not saying like if you said let's take the mind state of the African and give them power, then no, we're not talking about that. We're saying let's take black folk all over the world with the same privileged mind state. We'll say that, right? That's scorn racism gave us that power to be able to be racist, and and harp that on to our white brethren and our other brethren, right, in the world, and then everything goes the same way. Like I'm saying, slavery, all that stuff goes the same way, except it's a different. We're the masters, they're the slaves, right? And then we go through the Civil War and all that stuff, just in a different flip universe, right? And we were born into this, right? We not slave owners. We weren't slave owners, and nobody in our age range is slave owners. But we're going to have that privilege. And again, that's what I'm saying. That's why I stopped saying. To my point was, that's why I stopped saying white people, because it's not their fault. It's America's fault, because once everything got flipped over, and then the absolute racist people died out. You know what I'm saying? Or they took out power. There were laws. They put laws in place to keep us in this downtrodden and marginalized space. Because if you would have gave us the 40 acres and a mule, then guess what? Then the country wouldn't look the same. Because now we're flourishing. First of all, we could call the black dollar. We're the biggest spenders in the world. Can you imagine if you left us alone? If you left us alone to let Black Wall Street flourish, you left us alone? No, we be the ruling class. Why? Because first of all, you come to us for cool. You come to us for cool.
Right. You
come to us for knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like then you saying that no, these is what we teaching. History would be truer. History would be more to the truer side of anything. Then those children are more enlightened. And they're more enlightened because guess what it is? It's like this. Because every which way, if we were left alone, you were already forgiven for what you did. America, you have been forgiven. You were forgiven because guess what? You left us alone. We were flourishing. Just like we're doing right now. It's like this. Like, yeah. Like, no, get rid of some of this shit. But guess what? At the end of the day, when we get rid of all the bullshit and all that stuff, when a person can stop saying, I'm better than you just because of the color of my skin. Right? I'm better than you because you know what I'm saying, and because you were born into it. You know what I mean? And now I think what we're doing now, we're starting to get more enlightened white people now. I think Chris Rock said something like that. He said, America's not getting better. It's not getting better for black folks. America just producing better white people. That's what they're doing. They're you know what I'm saying? Because they understand, yo, I have this privilege. And they'll tell you, I have this privilege, and it's my responsibility with having this, whatever little bit of privilege I have, to make sure that I don't make it harder for you, or to make sure when somebody says something, I speak up because I'm in a room with them. Like, now you can't say that. You can't say that. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Because guess what? I do in the rooms when I'm, you know what I'm saying? When I'm in the room with men and they talk about women and stuff like, whoa, you can't say that. That's not the way you do it. That's not the way you do it. Why? Because guess what? Because it's a certain privilege that we have as men that women don't. we got certain privileges in everything else. You know what I'm saying? Even it's the trickle down effect. Like we don't have as much privilege as a white man, but we're still men. So that puts in the man category. You know what I'm saying? With the privilege of patriarchy and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Which needs to be torn the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? It's like boom. So that's all I had to. You know what I mean? I hope I didn't go too far on the rant or make myself. But yeah, but Black Panther, man, go out there and see it, man. Check it out. It's dope. Namor's dope. You know what I'm saying? Namor's dope. His people are dope. I like the story, and they, you know what I'm saying. If you're a comic book head, they're introducing the word mutants into it. So now setting everything up for down the line, so we get the X-Men and all that.
Right. Oh yeah. That's gonna be hot.
That's gonna be super dope. But yeah, man. Hey, I wanted to keep this an hour, man. We won an hour and 5 minutes. Is there anything else you want to shout out while you want to show, good brother?
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother. And 20 years ago, we used to do this, me and Bishop Omega, when he was AKA MC Fahrenheit. MC Fahrenheit. He has an alter ego that's real conscious. Yeah, I mean, this has been beautiful, brother. Only thing I would shout, thank you, brother, for your platform. I appreciate you. If you're in Durham, North Carolina, and you want a free book, anything dealing with Black history, dealing with before slavery, the ancient kingdoms, during slavery, hip hop, I got them for free, and I give them out on the streets for free. I'm in the hood passing out books for free. For free. So just hit me on social media, Facebook, Men Paul Scott, or Bull City Griot, Griot, Bull City Griot, and let me know where you at. I'll let you know where I'm at, and we'll put a book in your hand for you and your family.
That's what it is. Anytime you post something, man, tag me in it so I can make sure to get it out, man, for real.
Appreciate
so that
you,
way,
brother.
you know what I'm saying? Every time, man. This is my man, Minister Paul Scott, one of my, you know what I mean? Hey, listen. When I say this right here, I want to be, I met him on Shai's radio. I thought he was a scary dude, man. But one thing about him, he's serious, but he likes to laugh. He enjoys, you know what I mean? He can't do it. I say all the stuff he can't say. You know what I'm saying? So this has been Intelligenty Ratchet. You know what I'm saying? My gracious co-host, Minister Paul Scott. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's night.